Good morning. For 2 weeks running, we've been on time on a Friday morning.
I know, we've kind of like remembered to do it and not kind of left it like 2 weeks and stuff.
This is
Which
good.
is like, it would have been great if we'd have sort of done that when we had loads of kind of things to like talk about, but there's not really much that's happened.
I know, that's the thing. When we weren't doing it, it's because we were too busy doing things. And now we've got time. And I can actually do 9 o'clock on a Friday morning. There's not much going on. It's a quiet week.
Yeah, well, it's like, and next weekend football starts again, or proper football starts again. So it's like Fulham's triumphant return to the Premier League for you, which I'm sure you're. Who do you play first?
Liverpool.
Start as you mean to go on.
I might already have Salah as captain for the first week.
I think he's captain for mine as well. Spurs we've got Southampton, I think, our first game. So yeah, Premier League starts back again. It's like starting back really early because we've got to have a ridiculous break kind of in the middle of it because they decided to play the World Cup in a country that's not really practical for playing sport or, much else.
We have just been having matches in high 30 degrees over here the last couple of weeks, so it can be done.
That is true, yeah, but I think over there it's more like you can go be like 40, 50, isn't it? I guess.
I think it is mid-40s, yeah. But that does take us on to this week's number 20 as Jamie finishes his breakfast. So last week I got trumped on my call for a number 19 and I was told to save it for this week. So we really gambled that England would still be in the Euros. Otherwise, this would have been totally irrelevant. So England have qualified. They've made it through to the finals of the Euros on Sunday. I will be at Wembley. Supposedly, it's sold out. They've said that for every game, yet there's always been empty seats. So we thought for our number 20, we'll go with one of England's super subs this tournament, which is Ella Toone. So for those who don't know, she is England's number 20 throughout this tournament. She's come on a couple of times and scored a couple of goals early on. Plays for Manchester United women as well. So that is this week's number 20 as Jamie continues to finish his breakfast.
No, I finished my breakfast. I was letting you do kind of being more of an expert on, on women's football than I am. Because like most people, you sort of get into that stage right now of it's coming home, I guess.
I feel like it could happen. But it's Germany. I'm quite nervous.
I think it's always the thing, though, that it's like an English sports fan. It's the hope that kills you. It's the optimism because you're so used to kind of thinking, oh, we're really good. We should do this and be in a position where it just like it doesn't. But I don't know. Fingers crossed and everything that we get a change and the girls.
I just feel like my daughter's getting like this false sense of how good England are because she only really got into football about a year and a half ago. So she's had, obviously, England men's team in the final of the Euros. Now England's women's team in the final of the Euros. So I think she's probably going to get this full security that she thinks England are this amazing team.
Well,
and I have to remind her of the years and years of heartbreak they've caused.
They've just got to hope they kind of, that things sort of builds from it and things. And it's like, like I suppose I normally think Ian Wright is just really annoying and it's a pundit I cannot stand at all. Probably because he played for Arsenal for so long has a lot to do with that. But like he actually sort of made something in sense that if they're not encouraging, if it's not inspiring girls and kind of wanting to do things, but it needs to play in schools. They need to kind of push it that it's not just boys that play football in schools and stuff. And it can get to position maybe was soccer's so big here that it kind of can't flip in the same way as it is in the States or Canada. But, the fact that if you look over there, like the women's sport is seen as higher than the men's, like kind of, based on the success they've had and kind of how it's done. So, yeah, hopefully it can build and inspire the next generation of England stars like Ella Toone and Alessia Russo. I did sort of notice, though, that the fact that you sort of realise how wonderful our press, like our mainstream, like tabloid press and things are here, that they decided that the way to sort of celebrate England getting to the final was a picture of Alessia Russo in her bikini on the beach in kind of the most sort of British way. It's like the whole,
my God.
show how like British culture works. And so during the England game, they've got people at Box Park in Croydon, which is about 5 minutes walk down the road from my house, where people are hammered because they always do, and they like to show it. And then the way they like to celebrate and show what women's football is about is go, oh, this girl's really pretty. Let's find a picture of her not wearing much. And it's just wrong. You know, not saying that I particularly want to see pictures of like England men kind of half naked, but do you know what I mean?
Don't want Harry Kane and a speedo on the front page, no.
No, well, to be fair, I reckon there's some ladies and possibly some men as well, or some people that I know would be too disheartened by seeing Jack Grealish not wearing a lot of clothes and things or such things. But yeah, it's not sort of done, and like, you know, hopefully, because I say the men just cause endless disappointment. That if the girls can do it, then good on them.
No, it should be a good weekend ahead. So it'll be exciting. Yeah, we're going to be in London all day Sunday for it, because there's a fan park at Trafalgar Square. There's then something for ticket holders at Wembley before going into the game for a 5 o'clock kickoff.
Oh, nice. Like my dad's like volunteering. Like, I don't actually know what he's doing, but he's doing some, I don't know, volunteering type helping, I don't know, something. But yeah, it's cool. I'm not around Sunday.
It'll be an exciting weekend ahead, I think.
Yeah, and then the following weekend, it's, you know, not real football, but more relevant football. Spurs come back. I remember to do my fantasy team. We were just sort of talking. We sort of both said we'd probably gonna have Salah as captain. I decided that I don't really need a bench, so I just spent all my money on my 11 and found the cheapest 4 players to kind of supplement that.
I've got 1 player on my bench. I've gone for 1.
Well,
I've got Neco Williams, who I think will obviously play, but he's Forest now, so it's like, you know, they're not going to be very good.
So I'd gone Ramsdale, Cancelo, Diaz, Perisic, James. So kind of 2 Man City, 1 Spurs, 1 Chelsea at the back, Arsenal goalkeeper, and then midfield Salah, Son, Luis Diaz, Odegaard, and Bruno Guimaraes at Newcastle, and then Gabriel Jesus from Arsenal as my wonderful 11. So it's just like, if someone gets injured, it's like, it's fine, just have to rearrange the entire team. Don't worry about the bench. The bench, I couldn't tell you anything about. And I've got, I think, a Villa backup goalkeeper, someone from Leeds. I couldn't even tell you what position the other 3 are, to be honest. Says a lot, really. But anyway, that's enough about fantasy football. We haven't had a lot of like music stuff to talk about, which is kind of why we're padding a bit.
No, there's some good new releases, but yeah, news-wise, concert-wise, there's been very little. Kind of. So this week we have kind of put live an interview with Frankie Perez. So he was obviously amazing at Black Deer Festival. So yeah, Jamie got as he drinks out of his black, that was very well timed.
That was beautifully timed. It was like the Black Deer Festival cooler.
So Jamie caught up with him, and obviously he really spoke very highly of like the crowd in England and of the festival itself as well, which was sort of really nice to see. That was a really good chat that we've had with him. We've got a few more kind of things going live throughout this week. I'm hoping to catch up with Kyle Daniel at some point next week as well. We've got a chat with Manny Blue to go online as we start our countdown to Nashville meets London, and obviously the Long Road Festival as well. So there's lots to look forward to, but not much at the minute.
No, like from sort of like my sort of what I've kind of got. Going to be catching up with Jade Halliwell on Tuesday because she's got new music out next week, and just for a chat, kind of standard. And well, I spoke to Ingrid Andress earlier this week, which was a lot of fun, and that's really cool. She's obviously got her album Good Person coming out on August 26th, so just under a month's time, and that kind of goes in quite nicely because today she's put out Blue, which is one of the tracks that's going to be on that record coming out. The interview itself's really cool. Kind of talked about one track in particular, one track she hasn't put out yet, called Feel Like This, because she wrote it with Julia Michaels. And I think it's a really, really pure, beautiful track. But Balloon, the track that she's kind of put out today, is a really, really sort of poetic, sort of, you know, very sort of thoughtful song, and it's really, really nice. And it's very, very much in that Ingrid sort of style. So let's say Blue is out today from her, and Good Person's out as the record next month, and hopefully we'll have an interview kind of in the next couple of days when it's online.
Yeah, so another track I think we've both looked forward to that's out today is from Chris Shiflett. So he's released a track, his new single, Long, Long Year. If you don't know him, you'll know the band. So yeah, he's obviously mainly known as a member of the Foo Fighters for the past 25, 26 years, it must be now. So that's kind of what he's mainly known for. But yeah, he kind of did come over here and did a tour of his kind of alt country sort of sound a while back. So yeah, so he's back releasing some country tracks again, which is quite cool. And yeah, so definitely looking forward to hearing more from him and kind of what he comes out with, because yeah, it must have been it was before lockdown, so maybe even 2019, I think he did his Hard Lessons with the album. So yeah, exciting to obviously have him back with a country sound. Elsewhere, it's obviously albums that have come out today. We've got Whiskey Myers have finally released Tornillo. It feels like we've been talking about it for months. This seems like one of the longest dragged out album releases, but yeah, Tornillo is finally here. I think they've released maybe 5 or 6 of the tracks before today, so it is nice to finally get the album. But yeah, that's a 12-track album. Is out now, which is sort of quite cool. And then the other, probably the main release, is Brooke Eden has released her new EP, Choosing You, and you caught up with her the other week, didn't you?
Yeah, so it's a really, really nice, obviously it's an extended play rather than a full length album, but it's great. It's great that she's kind of got new music that's come in that's very true to her, and that she's, you know, in a really sort of happy place with putting that sort of music out and stuff. And it's definitely worth a listen. Let's say I think it's 5 tracks, so it's a sort of thing that if you're sort of sat on the train and things, you can listen to all the way through. And if you haven't listened to her music and stuff before, or kind of know too much about her, she's just someone that has a lot of, you know, portrays a lot of like warmth and positivity, and just a lot of fun. And you kind of hear that with some of the tracks on this record, like Knock especially, and kind of some of the other things on there. So, you know, definitely worth kind of one for taking a little bit of time. And say then from there, there's plenty in her back catalogue that people really love. The 3 tracks she put out last year that aren't part of the project, they're all bangers. So yeah, and it's really great, and hopefully it's not too long before kind of managed to get back over and come and see us. And then like the only other sort of like in a sort of country Americana sort of wedge, like album wise, Amanda Shires, who is one of the Highwomen in that kind of group with Maren Morris, and also is Mrs. Jason Isbell, kind of would be the other way that people might know who she is. But she has she's put out a new record today called Take It Like a Man. Somebody mentioned that she had the record out today, and it's like, oh cool. And it's like I listened to it, and then I overslept a little bit, so I haven't got around to listening to that yet. But I'm definitely I've got a longer train journey to kind of get back this afternoon, so that's definitely going to be kind of the first thing that I'm going to kind of be listening to. And I know as well, like outside of the country sort of side, Helly Kyoko's got a new record called Panorama out today. So that's pretty much my journey home sorted.
That is one way to get through. Are you train or bus?
Both.
Oh, bloody hell. Good luck then. That's one way to get through it, at least. Plenty of music to get through.
Well, Mum's like, I haven't got the car. And it's like, well, that's not helpful. How am I going to get home? She's like, I just met your own way. And it's like, okay, so I've got to sort of get back and get the bus from the station. Not impressed.
Work it out somehow.
Yeah, I'm a big boy, grown up, can do it, I think. But yeah, that's kind of pretty. There's not kind of much else. Like there's a new Dirks Bentley song that got released today called Gold. Chase Rice put out his new track, which is really cool, called Key West in Colorado. Dylan Scott shared another song called Lay Down With You, which is off his record that's coming out next week. I think his album comes out.
Yeah, it's coming soon, definitely.
Yes, that's out next. That album's out next Friday. We've got a new track off it today, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, no, it is. And yeah, I've had a listen. I'm thinking, well, I've had a listen to, because I've had a listen to the new Kane Brown album. That's sort of coming soon. And also, what was the what? I can't remember. A couple of others I had to listen to, which are quite good. That are, yeah, all coming quite soon. So there's plenty to kind of come. Yeah, John Pardy's Missed Saturday Night. I had to listen to that last night. That's out sort of in about a month's time. That's another one to really be looking forward to. So yeah, it's going to be. There's lots to come up.
There's lots to come up. It's like the calm before the storm, because obviously, kind of in 4 weeks today, Long Road starts, and then so and obviously in the lead up into that week, there's a lot of things kind of staying down here in the Promised Land before we head back up, or head up slightly north. Is it Rugby? Is that kind of like the nearest like big town? Yeah. Before we head up to there for TLR, we got stuff at like East London for National Meets London, which will be great to see Priscilla Block and Shai Carter and Manny Blue, who you spoke to, Carl Daniel, who you're about to speak to, Arbor North, who we're going to be speaking, who we definitely know we're going to be speaking to,
Candy, who we'll probably speak to.
Tay-Bay, who we'll probably speak to if he remembers to turn up where he's supposed to be.
If I get around to send him a text message.
Well, you were talking about taking him to football, weren't you? So
I was going to say, yeah, he does like football. There's actually a Fulham game the Tuesday after Long Road, so I do need to message him, see if he's around for that, if I can get tickets. It's Fulham, so I don't see why you wouldn't be able to.
And yeah, so it's going to be fun, and I'm really excited for both of those, actually. Like I had a very sophisticated evening last night with a couple of my friends that resulted in being in Wetherspoons in Old Street for a little bit longer than I anticipated. And yeah, we were just sort of talking about just how excited we are for that, for that whole weekend, and how great it's going to sort of be. The fact that you've got not just Chris Young, but Cassidy Pope's over here at the same time. And obviously they've collaborated on a duet. Sarah Evans playing here for the first time, like for me, is just amazing. I'm sure a lot of people are fans of Chris and Cadillac Free and Marty Stewart and Low Cash, but for me, she's the star attraction 100%. I'd quite happily just have 2 hours of her, and that would be the perfect headliner. We're going to have Lindsay L playing with full band. We're going to have so many other people that kind of played at C2C and won a lot of fans coming back. Everett and Seaforth, Jess Moskaluk. Who else is coming over? You've got Rissy Palmer with her whole Colour Me Country thing. That's kind of going to be great for kind of a lot of people, how they're sort of hosting that and showcasing diversity and kind of inclusion and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it's something to definitely look forward to, kind of what they've sort of got going. And then National Meets London as well, just a load of great acts, 2 days, starting at 4 o'clock, isn't it, each day?
Yeah, 4 to 11 each day.
Yeah, and it's kind of, when you look at the map of London and you see where the O2 is, like on the like sticky
opposite,
out.
It looks I don't know how we'll get there.
I was trying to describe the Greenwich Peninsula, but I couldn't really think of the best way to kind of describe it. I was it's sort of like
opposite the O2, but the other side of the river.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's like in summer holidays, whereas I still have to work.
I'm only like 2 weeks now. I've been off for 2 weeks now.
Oh no, it won't be long. It won't be long before you have to go back.
I still got 4.5 weeks. Okay.
So are you back in after like
1st of September?
Oh, okay. So it's still September. Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, I got back first. Well, I changed schools, so technically I can't go in before 1st September anyway. So I won't be able to do anything. Because IT people in school don't let you have anything until 1st September. So it's like you can't have any access until you officially start. So I can't do anything anyway. It's a good excuse.
I've had severe IT issues at work this week. I think it got to the sort of point where I was like, my boss was sort of saying, I was swearing at my computer so much in the office. And I think it generally got to the point, it's like, Jamie, I think you have actually ran out of fucks to give right now because of like the amount you're swearing at that computer. It's still not working. I'm like, should I just resort to throwing it? Is that the next step?
Sounds about right.
But it's like, it's like, oh, you should say about calling the help desk. And if you like anyone that ever has to deal with works in a large organization that kind of has an IT department, when you sort of deal with them, it's always like the same generic sort of thing. It's like, have you tried switching it off and back on again? Is anybody else having the same issue? Have you tried on another machine and still find the same issue? It's like the fact that you've got, 10,000-20,000 people having the same issue. And it's like, I'm pretty sure if it was as simple as turning a computer on and off again, not everyone would be having that same issue.
But have they turned it on and off and back on again? That's the question.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, this has been like completely random. We talked about my fantasy team. We're talking about how crap IT departments are. And we've talked about women's football and small smattering of releases. So yeah, go out and listen. Whiskey Myers, Tornillo, Take It Like a Man, Amanda Shires, Choosing You as a new EP from Brooke Eden, and then just new tracks from Dirk, Ingrid, Chase Rice, and Dylan Scott. So if you've got time today, people, have a little listen. And I'm going to go sort my hair out because it looks atrocious.
And our playlist is live on Spotify. The links are on Instagram and Twitter and things. So check it out. One-stop shop for some new music. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Yes. Goodbye.